and welcome to another Betfred Sports video right here in the Quest Media Network studio. Now today we're going to do something a little bit different because there's two huge semi-finals coming up in both the Rugby League World Cup and in the T20 World Cup in Australia. And in both events, England are second favourites to win the competitions. Peter, it's looking good for our country.
Yeah, it is. It's particularly busy sports at the moment, and we're not even at the World Cup. We've got the Rugby League World Cup, of course. That's a crucial stage. England are playing Samoa in the semi-finals, having disposed of Papua New Guinea on Saturday afternoon, and that was a tremendous occasion with royalty there. Princess of Wales was present, presented to the players, and I thought it was great how she shook hands with the mascots as well. That was a nice touch because they're just like below the VIPs and just get ignored.
Right.
And for them it's a great day as well.
Yeah.
So she did a smashing job there. So in the semi-final we've got England against Samoa, who remember England absolutely hammered in the group stage. They won 60-6 in that game. So now they're playing them again in the semi-final at the Emirates on Saturday afternoon. Previous to that, on Friday night, Australia playing New Zealand in the other semi-final. So Betfred, who remember are sponsoring the England shirts, now have our nation 4-1 second favourites to go on and win the World Cup outright. They were third favourites for a long time. Australia 4-11, so they're odds-on favourites. Finals at Old Trafford on November the 19th. New Zealand third favourites with Betfred, they're 15-2, and Samoa are naturally the big outsiders, they're 14-1 to go and win it.
Well, we're going to look specifically now at the T20 World Cup. England, as Peter said then, second favourites to win the competition. It's based in Australia. Peter, what can you tell us?
Yeah, it is strange, isn't it, that in the Rugby League World Cup, England are second favourite, and also in the T20. So England are 9-4 to beat India and then go on and win the Rugby League, the T20 World Cup. India are the favourites, they're 2-1. England 9-4. Pakistan, they're going to be playing against New Zealand in the other semi-final. They're 3-1, and New Zealand 10-3. And everyone will notice there that there's no Australia, so that was quite a coup for England to effectively take the place of Australia in that competition. They must be absolutely mortified in Australia not to be competing in the competition that they're hosting. So that's building up nicely as well. So we've got two huge high-profile events going on, and England are second favourites in both. Excellent
stuff. So good luck to England in both semi-finals. We here at Quest Media Network and at Betfred are, of course, rooting for you. Well, we're going to move into the Premier League now because there was some huge results at the weekend. So at the Etihad Stadium on Saturday, it ended Manchester City 2, Fulham 1, and it was that man Erling Haaland with a 95th minute penalty to secure the 3 points for Pep Guardiola's side. Peter, that result, come the end of the season, could be huge.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? City do seem to struggle a little bit against some of these so-called weaker teams, and they were sweating on that one until Haaland came on and saved the day. And it showed how vital it was because Arsenal went on and won the day after, and so they still remain 2 points ahead, but it could have been so much worse. So we've still got City as the outright favourites to retain the title, the 1-5, but Arsenal keep being cut now. The 9-2 because they've still got this lead after I think it's 13 games have gone now, fast approaching the break for the World Cup, of course. So Betfred have Arsenal 9-2, and it is looking like one of those two teams because the next team up there are Liverpool, 40-1, United 50-1. And that other United, Newcastle, they're 50-1 as well. They've gone into third place with that win at Southampton. Southampton have just sacked the manager as well.
They have,
So that is, it was a perfect game for Newcastle, that. A team that's so much on the up, so many good vibes going on against a team who were down at heel, Southampton. So anyway, Newcastle are 50-1 at Betfred, and then we've got Spurs at 66-1, Look at Chelsea, 100-1 now for the title, so they're really slipping up.
Yeah, you'd imagine that the pressure's possibly mounting on Graham Potter at Chelsea. He's only been in charge for a few months now, but when you're 7th in the table and you've got high expectations like they have done for the past 15 years, you know, they might make a rash decision.
Yeah, well, anything's possible at Chelsea, and it looks like he's a jump from Brighton, where it was all relatively routine for him and homely. He's taken this challenge. He must have thought the grass was greener. Well, it's not proving to be the case, is it? And look at that, Chelsea are at the Etihad in the AFL Cup on Wednesday. So, and the 5-1 to win at the Etihad, I can't just see that at all. It'll be interesting to see whether Potter puts out a stronger team in this competition, with traditionally the youth squad players, the bigger clubs. City 1-2 to go and win that, and that man Haaland, well, he's 2-1 to score to score for the first goal of the game.
Well, you would not put it past him to even score a hat-trick in that game, given how poor Chelsea are at the moment. But then, 24 hours later, we've got Manchester United hosting Aston Villa. That's in the Carabao Cup as well. And it's a great opportunity for Erik ten Hag's side to put Sunday's defeat at Villa behind them.
Yeah, that was a strange game as well. Villa just seemed to have the rub of the green in front of goal, and they got that early lead, of course. Bit of a strange one, having Ronaldo as captain after he walked out effectively, didn't go on. I mean, that was really odd. I just couldn't get my head around that one, because it's the new coach there is very much a disciplinarian, so I just couldn't understand that at all. Maybe it's just that in this country we put so much on being the captain, whereas a lot of the foreign coaches are a bit bemused by it. Yeah. They just don't think it's so insignificant, and that everyone's supposed to be a captain out there, but we seem to make a song and dance about that. We've got United 8-13 at Betfred to go through that game and win. Villa 9-2, and Ronaldo was 3-1 to score first.
Excellent stuff. So just to move back to the Premier League, as Peter alluded to shortly ago, Newcastle are the big movers. They are now 50-1 to win the Premier League title. Of course, they got that big victory at Southampton on Sunday. Great result for Eddie Howe's side. But of course, that marked the end of Southampton's managers spell in charge of the club. They're now looking for a new manager just before the break for the World Cup. So Peter, it's probably an ideal time for the Saints to look for a new manager, bring him in, and then he can have a bit of a bedding in process.
Someone like Sean Dyche, you mean?
Well, yeah.
He's already been linked with that job. It is looking ideal for him. He's a firefighter, and he's got the pedigree to survive in the Premier League. So I can see that happening. Although the style of play at Southampton wouldn't necessarily suit him. But maybe the new owners there will be thinking, who cares, we just got to survive in the Premier League. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, I'm sure Saints fans will just want the side to avoid relegation this season, regardless of how they play on the pitch. Well, just to mention now for Curzon and Ashton, because on Sunday they hosted Cambridge United in the FA Cup first round at the Tameside Stadium, and they held the League One outfit to a goalless draw. So that is now being taken to a replay at the Abbey Stadium next Tuesday. The second round draw is being made tonight, and hopefully, Peter, they can go and win this replay and get a good draw tonight.
Yeah, well, it'd be fantastic for that club that I played in the reserve team for about 5 matches. But anyway, I still did it. And they are a great little setup, and all the best to them, because I know how important it is that they get teams at that level get a decent cup run. Yeah. The money they can earn is extraordinary. Yeah. And just all the best to them, but it is a tough ask to go to Cambridge and win that replay.
Yeah, it certainly is, and all the best to Stockport County as well, because they massacred Swindon Town at Edgeley Park. They've also booked their place in the second round, and Dave Challoner's side will be hoping to get a good draw tonight and carry on a good FA Cup run as they had last season. Well, we've got some big news at Betfred, because it's the biggest payout of all time. Fred paying out with a smile on his face, £5 million. Peter, tell us a bit about this.
Yeah, well, people will know that Betfred do operate in at least 5 states in America, and we have betting on all the American sports. And this fella, who's called Jim McInvale, also known as Mattress Mac, because he runs lots of furniture shops in America. He must be pretty rich because he bet $1 million on Houston Astros winning baseball's World Series. He put his bet on in July at 5 to 1, so he had $1 million at 5 to 1. Of course, he went and won it on Sunday morning, and so we're paying out $5 million to this guy. And as always, Fred's well, he takes his chances and he pays out if he loses, and he's lost on this one. And he's playing out with a smile, and he's saying all the best to him. This guy is a renowned gambler in America, and we're paying out £5 million, which is the highest ever amount that Betfred have ever paid. So it's $5 million, which is the same as a pound nowadays, isn't it? Because of the way that the economy is going. And we're paying out with a huge smile on Fred is.
Yeah, well, there you go then. Brilliant stuff. A huge payout for one guy in America. Enjoy your winnings. So just to recap, we've got some football fixtures coming up this week. In the Carabao Cup, we've got Manchester City hosting Chelsea, and then 24 hours later, Manchester United take on Aston Villa at Old Trafford. And if you do fancy a punt on any of those fixtures, Betfred stores are now open, but you can also bet online via their app.